said before that our current crisis, that Nigeria is in a crisis, and in fact, the current crisis is a direct result of electoral decisions and leadership choices made collectively, and elections have consequences. The real path forward, therefore, is a change of leadership in another election. And the question has always been the reality and the assumptions on how these leadership changes should take place, with an electoral legal framework that really a lot of people would question the content and whether or not it can really deliver the goods at the end of the day. You contested in 2019 the presidency in 2019. What did you identify to be the fault lines as far as this legal framework and the entire process indeed, and what needs to be corrected beyond some of the issues we've highlighted so far in the electoral amendment bill?
Well, first of all, the most important thing that I identified as a candidate in the presidential election in 2019 is that the voting process, the voting count, and the collation of results is not transparent at all. I know, as a matter of fact, that the results that were credited to me were not the results that I achieved in the election. I know that, because in some polling, in some collation centers where we had people who were looking in on our behalf, I was getting reports on the numbers of votes that were being accredited to me as a candidate. And that was very different from what INEC announced as the numbers that my political party at that time got in those elections. So this is one of the things we think that this electronic transmission of results will help achieve. So we come back to this issue. It's the biggest issue. There are other issues of security at polling booths. There was a lot of electoral violence in many places. I think we should create a very clear framework to avoid this. Two, there should be consequences, strong consequences, electoral accountability for malfeasance in elections, whether by INEC officials, whether by political party agents, whether by individual citizens. Any attempt to disrupt the elections or to cheat should create accountability that people can see. If you come and shoot somebody today, the police will most likely show up and arrest you. Why is it that people commit crimes at elections and we don't hear anything about accountability? I would also say that one of the things I noticed was that INEC's preparedness for the 2019 elections was just not where it should have been. So I believe that INEC today is trying hard to improve on its performance in the 2019 elections. I congratulate them for beginning the continuous voter registration. And I urge them to really make sure that this process goes very smoothly. The other area where I will also challenge INEC to rise in its performance, in addition to logistics, to project management, to managing the risks that could disrupt smooth elections, is in the area of voter education. I don't think INEC is doing enough in the area of voter education. Nigeria's democracy, any democracy, presumes that citizens are making informed decisions, presumes that citizens know what issues they should be looking out for in selecting their leaders. But to the issues we are discussing about the electronic transmission of votes, there are other areas that INEC needs to work on. I talked about INEC and other agencies like the police, the security of electoral processes and voting booths. I talked about logistical preparedness by INEC. And I'm talking about voter education. A lot of civil society organizations, such as To Build a Nation, TBAN, the one that I am a convener of, together with many other Nigerians, we believe that the education of the Nigerian voter is a critical need for the elections going forward in this country. Nigeria's voters, many people are poor, many people are illiterate, they don't even have a sense of the basis on which they should be selecting candidates. And of course, one of the major issues that we identified in the 2019 elections was